Retired four-star Army General Wesley Clark, who is also a NATO Supreme Allied Commander, I should say. Good morning to you, General. Thanks, as always, for being with me. Do you think this weekend was just part one from Iran and that Israel and its allies should brace for additional attacks?
Well, I think Israel's going to have to respond because Israel can't live under the gun of Iran's threat. You know, when Iran says, hey, it's over, or something a whole lot worse is going to happen to you, that is a complete, to not respond to that would be a complete betrayal of the deterrent policy that's kept Israel safe since its founding in 1948. So I don't think Israel's going to let this pass by.
What should that response look like, sir, and when? How soon?
Well, I think they've got to give time for the international community to express its outrage at Iran. Let's see what comes out of the UN. Let's see what diplomacy can be done in the region. Is that a couple of days, a couple of weeks? It makes the attack on Rafah more imperative. You don't want Hamas there surviving and claiming victory with an Iran that says, well, I'm going to hit you harder next time. So sometime in the few days to a few weeks, you would expect Israel to go into Iran with its strikes. What would it attack? Probably not the nuclear site, but likely air defense, certainly. Maybe its ability to block shipping in the Straits of Hormuz, likely the drone factories and missile factories and launching sites and staging areas and so forth inside Iran.
And we know that, of course, the United States stepped in to Israel's defense this weekend, helped with those intercepting the missiles, the drones that were coming their way. But President Biden making it clear to Netanyahu over the weekend that we would not be helping in any offensive moves or counterattacks on Iran. Do you like that tactic? Is that the right move on our part?
Well, I think it's the right move for now. I think for now, the United States has to work the diplomacy in the region. But he didn't say that the United States wouldn't support Israel in the event of another Iranian response. And so it's like a get out of jail free card in Monopoly. Israel, it can do what it thinks it must do. And indeed, we want it to do that. The United States does not want to become the sole security provider for Israel. We don't want U.S. troops on the ground there. We don't want that responsibility. We're the backstop for Israel, not the security provider. So if we were try to prevent them from finishing this job against Iran or Hamas, that puts us in an extremely precarious position politically. And certainly Israel doesn't want that.
And speaking of being their security provider, in addition to assistance from the United States, Israel has also garnered support from Britain, France, Jordan. How can Israel use this to their advantage to isolate Iran on an international level?
Well, I think sanctions have to be tightened up first. I think it's imperative that the United States cut off all funds going to the Iranian government. Iran's government's in deep trouble financially inside the country. It's high inflation, unemployment, soldiers walking off their jobs because they're not getting paid. There's a lot of internal unrest. So that's the first thing. Tighten up the sanctions, no more money. Secondly, let's start delegitimating Iran in international organizations. You know, the Iranian people did not turn out to vote for this government. They stayed away from it because this government is a repressive, hostile government that's fearful of its own population. So why should it be the legitimate representative of the Iranian people? So challenge its legitimacy in every international organization. And then third, help build a deterrent alliance in the region. Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Oman, against Iran, backed by the power of the United States and our allies in Western Europe.
Well, we are standing by for updates to see what comes to fruition here in the coming days and weeks, as I know you are as well. Army General Wesley Clark, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.